The world of communication has changed immeasurably, it seems like, in the last few years. And I'm someone who went to work for a newspaper when they were still using typewriters. So the change that I've seen has been tremendous. But even since in the relatively short time that I've been in public relations, once upon a time you faxed out a news release and you looked for a clip in the paper the next day or a story on the news that night. All of that has changed. I mean, those traditional methods still do exist, but there's this whole new world of digital media and the internet, and that has brought with it things like bloggers. And you have to be monitoring those conversations, and that's tough sometimes. You've got to be out there on Facebook and out there on Twitter, and for us it's a matter of figuring out how to use those tools and be effective in using those tools. So it's changed, you know, and who knows what the future holds. What's beyond Twitter, what's beyond YouTube, you know, and so we have to be able to constantly be learning new things, be adapting to the new ways of communication.
We use our FB Act or Farm Bureau Agricultural Contact Team a lot to do that. So if a specific issue comes up that needs action on, we will send out a blast email to all those folks that are on our list. We have about 3,000 of our members on that, and they'll have a direct plea to action and a pre-formatted letter or a phone talking sheet that they can use to directly contact their elected officials, and that really works well. We use that a lot to get our members to get the specific messages that are in line with our policy that our members have developed, to get that message to their elected officials. And that works immediately, it's very quick, or we can use it over the long term as more of a strategy for a campaign or what have you. So we can really use that a lot, but that's one of the main ways that we get our message across.
The challenge is that the print media their news holes are shrinking, their time has become at such a premium that you can't just peg all of your success on more of the traditional media anymore. So much has gone online and through electronic communication that you've really got to look at all of those factors. So it has impacted the way we do our communication. You know, electronic newsletters and just, you know, having our members be able to contact us through email, through the website, those things that we've really increased our use of them. The face of communication and news is changing dramatically on a daily basis. And with that in mind, obviously you can't go without a website. We do have a blog on the Florida Farm Bureau website that we don't update. We update it a few times a week usually, and it's more used to just try to get you know, other things out there that maybe aren't getting out in a more traditional sense. In terms of getting things in the news anymore, that has changed drastically. Just because a story is not picked up by a certain newspaper doesn't mean you failed in getting your message out. We have so many other venues and other ways to get the message out.
Communication technologies have changed everything in our office. You know, I started with Dairy Farmers Incorporated about 8 years ago, and we used to fax things, and now I feel almost like a dinosaur having used a fax machine at one point in my life. And you know, obviously we find that in talking to reporters, we're able to engage with them, and sometimes you know, in media roundtables through the Florida Public Relations Association, which I'm a member of, and we have an annual meeting with reporters. So we really have a chance to get them in a group and say, how do you want to be reached? And they all say the same thing: email, cut back on the phone calls. If I like your pitch over email, I'm gonna get back with you and show you some interest, and we'll go from there. So that's really changed an awful lot in trying to reach the media. Is this that they want things over email? They don't want to, you know, they don't want to go look at their phone and see if they've got 40 messages. They don't have time for that. But emails are nice and quick and efficient, and you got to make your emails obviously very catchy and grab their attention right off the bat, so they're going to look at your email. So that's a big thing there.